All right, so I got more criticism of Rich Cooper. So as I said before, I do like Rich Cooper. I do watch his stuff. I think his red pill truths are beneficial. But where I disagree, and which is where I've historically always disagreed with Rich Cooper, as well as Rollo Tomasi and Donovan Sharp, is their answer to female nature and basic bottom line hypergamy, right? So my point really is based off of the fact that men should be able to be loved unconditionally, and I believe the reason why men are not loved unconditionally is because women are not taught to love men unconditionally, and also part of their nature, which is about survival and getting the highest male or highest value male, which is animalistic. And I've said and maintained that on my channel pretty much since day one, in one way or another. So this video here, I got to be careful, actually. I don't know what this video is called, but hold on a second. Yeah, I don't want to lose my comment because for some reason YouTube has been constantly deleting a lot of my comments. So hold on, I'm going to copy this comment real quick. And if it's not still there okay. I don't have to just copy and paste it again. So this is Rich Cooper just upload. This is from Rich Cooper Clips. I do follow this. I'm not subscribed, but because I watch a lot of his videos, YouTube always suggests it to me. So this is from How to Deal with Loneliness After a Breakup. And this guy calls in, and he's lonely after a breakup, and he's talking about how he can deal with that. Okay, my comment's still there. And basically Rich tells him the old spiel about, you have to put yourself as number one, and you have to chase excellence, and you have to be happy in and of yourself outside of a woman, which is not objectively bad advice. Again, it's just not telling the absolute truth that, about the fact that men are not loved unconditionally. And that's a hard pill to swallow. And this is why I always say I don't believe 80 to 90% of marriages out there are based on real love. I believe they're based on a transactional love, meaning the woman is exchanging her intimacy and sexuality for the man's value, his resources, and his stoic masculinity in this case. And I'm not saying that Richard is incorrect per se on how to go about modern relationships, because it's actually his answer is very pertinent to what is actually going on, to how to keep a woman. I do believe you can keep a woman like that. I do believe that you can get a woman being non needy and non by chasing excellence and finding your own happiness outside of a woman. But I don't believe that men are naturally like this. I believe that everything men do is to get a woman. We really love women. Men love women, but the problem is that women don't love men in the same way that men love women. Women love men in a utility way. Women love men in a means to an end way, and it really is a sad thing. It's a really heartbreaking thing, because I do believe most men love women altruistically and sort of in an egalitarian way, whereas women do not love men that way. Women love men as long as men are doing what they want for them, as long as men are checking off the boxes that they have, for standards of what they want for a man. And I've heard Richard himself say this again and again. So Richard actually really kind of contradicts himself a lot, because he'll sit there and he'll talk about how female hypergamy is bad, and women don't really love men, conditionally, and all these things that I just said. He'll say those things, but then he'll turn around and he'll say, well, men need to chase excellence, and men need to, have their own happiness outside of women, and then a man can have a woman. And it's like, that's really kind of disingenuous, after what you just said. But bottom line, the truth is that men want to love women. So I'm just going to read this. The problem with this theory is that women make men happy. Men want to love women. Men want a woman. It's just that most men don't understand that you do have to play that game. Again, I'm not saying what he's saying is incorrect. It's correct, but guys have to play that game, and it's not natural. We have to pretend to be higher value than we really are, or even attain to a value that we wouldn't just naturally attain to, you know. And it's like, you know, we're dancing monkeys, you know. We have to perform. The burden of performance is on a man. It's just like Chris Rock always says, or not always says, but like Chris Rock said in his famous stand-up, which should be now famous in the manosphere and the red pill community, is that only women and children and pets are loved unconditionally. In order for a man to be loved, he has to bring something for the table. And that's right where I can't abide by that. So I'd rather opt out and say, oh, I'm not gonna love a woman, or I'm not gonna try to love a woman if she's gonna leave me if I don't constantly perform, or if I don't check off these boxes for her. So the problem with this theory is that women make men happy. It's very hard for a man to feel fulfilled without a woman. A lot of our fulfillment in life is in love and in relationships and marriages, and I think that's true for both women and men. However, again, the difference is that men do not place the same standards on women that women place on men. There's a difference between how men and women love, and that's a sad thing. So, as is typical, Richard distracts away from the real problem, that women are not open to a real relationship based on shared affection. They want a man to be a stoic alpha at all times, or they want him to be a docile beta provider. There's no in between. Maybe you could argue that they want a man to be alpha, but also beta in a way, and it's like, that's just such a performance, you know. How can men, and I've heard women say this, I want the bad boy who became a good guy and things like that, but he still has that bad boy tendency in him. And it's just like, you want something that is really impossible, because men are not like that all the time. Men are not like, you know, men are not alpha 24/7. We might be, in certain instances, we might exhibit strong leadership abilities in certain avenues, but we're not strong leaders in everything we do. And this is why you'll see men get really upset when they lose at something, because they want to be great at everything, because that's part of their sex drive. It's the Freudian mammalian brain, or whatever you want to call it. It's our lower cortex or whatever that is trying to perform for a female so he can pass on his genes. And it's like, I don't want any parts of any of that. Like, if you don't love me when I'm at my worst, then you don't deserve me when I'm at my best. If you don't love me when I'm at my weakest and my most beta, then you don't deserve me when I'm at my strongest and my most alpha. Nobody is alpha 24/7, okay? That's just not reality. Actually, Philion from iPhilion YouTube fame made a great video on this, where he's talking shit about alpha guys. And a lot of this red pill shit, these red pill, I shouldn't say red pill shit, but I mean a lot of these red pill / PUA shit, these red pill / PUA guys, Rich Cooper, Tomasi, and Donovan Sharp, these guys who mix the red pill with PUA concepts, a lot of what they do is they talk all this alpha shit. Oh, if you're not the alpha, woo, 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 woo. And a lot of it's true. Women want alpha men. But it's a problem, because, again, men are not alpha 24/7. We might be alpha in some ways. We might, 4 times out of 5 defend off, aggressive challenges. But that one time we're not alpha, and then she sees us take a loss, and all of a sudden she leaves us. It's weird, man. It's weird. Like you can't love me and support me through thick and thin. Well, then I don't fucking want you, right? But I gotta be. So Richard is saying that that men have to be stoic at all times, and we have to I think I heard somebody say well, you give her 20% affection and you keep the rest of the 80% for yourself. Don't give her too much affection, or she's gonna feel like she's the one on the pedestal and not you. And it's just like, why do I gotta play this frame game? I gotta play this this game of who's chasing who in a relationship. It's like, I can't just relax. I can't relax and just be who I am. You can't. You really can't. I've been in relationships where I've learned how to play the frame game, and I was above her, and finally, eventually I loved her and kind of came down to her level. And once I came down to her level, she didn't want me anymore. Women really do not want equality. They say they want equality. They really do not. What they want is they want the guy who's superior to them in every way. And you'll hear this. You'll hear Richard Cooper say this. You'll hear Donovan Sharp say this. You'll hear this going on. You'll hear Tomasi saying this. You will hear this all over the manosphere. but they don't have a proper answer. Their answer is chase excellence, make yourself better. So you're saying play into hypergamy, right? So because Rich is a profiteer, he has to sell men on the idea that they need to improve themselves to get into a relationship with a woman. This is constant. It always has to be like this because men are nothing if not always trying to motivate themselves to improve. So this is a selling point. Richard can't just say, the truth is women are shit. The truth is that women, the way women love is shitty, and that's all that it is. He can't just leave it there. He has to give these little anecdotal advices, these little motivations to sell, because this is what guys think they want to hear. Because MGTOW or black pill is not viable because you're just a loser who doesn't get laid, because men can't fathom the fact that their seed won't get passed on. Okay, you don't get your seed passed on. At least you die with dignity. I don't give a fuck about my seed. Why would I care? Why would I want another kid in this fucked up world with 6 billion, 7 billion people out there already? The society, or not society, but the human race does not need me to procreate. It's doing just fine without me. And people act like, well, haha, you're a loser, you don't get to procreate. Like, oh no, I don't have to raise a brat 24/7. I mean, yeah, I would love my kid, and there's something in me that wants to nurture and love a child, sure. But at the same time, that's a 24/7 responsibility. It's a full-time job. It never stops. It's full of stress. It changes you physically and mentally. You go through so much stress that you become overweight. That's why they call it the dad bod. They call it a dad bod for a reason, because you fucking stress eat and you don't get any sleep. Your adrenals are taxed and ran into the ground because you're constantly stressed about your kid. Okay, who really wants that? The only scenario that I would want that in is if I had a lot of money and I had a really nurturing wife who raised my child, in a very loving way, and the child was fairly docile because he had a quality home environment. But that's not really ideal for most people. And people think like having a kid is some kind of fucking rite of passage where you're not a real man if you don't pass your seed on. It's just like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't need you to tell me what a real man is, particularly if it has to do with, I gotta, simp and turn myself into a cuck for some radical feminist so she'll fucking open her legs and give me the blessing of giving her my seed. Like, yeah, sex is great. I like to fuck. It's pretty awesome. But at the same time, like, I never come inside girls. I could have got girls pregnant when I was 18. I've been having sex since I was 18. I use a condom or I pull out, and I make damn sure she's on fucking birth control for a reason. And really, I would advise everyone to use a condom and make sure she's on birth control and pull out. Don't be an idiot and come inside of her. Don't be an idiot and even come inside a condom inside of her. Pull out, nut on her face, because they love that anyways, because they're all freaks, right? And then just fucking skirt, get the hell out of there. Just ski skirt away from the scenario, because you don't want a fucking kid and you don't want a wife of thought, because they're all thoughts. They're all having sex on the first date, and then they act like that's fucking normal, and they want you to simp, and they want you to be a fucking beta male, feminist sympathizer, and then they'll reward you with you can raise you can give them your seed and have a kid, and now you got to raise a fucking kid, and there's a 50% chance she's gonna leave you for some dude who's better than you. There's a 50% chance she's gonna fucking find some dude monkey branch away from you. Fuck that shit. Okay. It's not that women are the prize, it's that love is the prize. It's not that men feel fulfilled when they have a woman because the woman is so special. It's that love is special. Love itself is special. That's the real fucking truth of this whole thing that nobody ever brings up. Love should be special, and it should be something that has nothing to do with finances and your success and your value. Love should be about damn shared moments, shared intimacy, shared love, because you actually are interested in that person. You're not all like, oh, what are you going to do for me financially? Oh, when are you going to get a house for me? When are you going to get a better job? Like, any woman who does that is a piece of shit, and you should never be in a relationship with her in the first place. All right? So this is what pisses me off about Richard Cooper, is he plays into this bullshit, and then he acts like he's a fucking hero when really all he's doing is recycling female nature and selling it to guys as a kind of motivational improvement standpoint. Fuck that shit, man. Again, I like when he talks about the red pill. A lot of his truths are great, and at least he's doing it mainstream. I appreciate that. But his answer, to hypergamy and how to deal with all this shit is not really right. It's not beneficial for who a man is in a man's heart. Okay? So my last paragraph says, so because Rich is a profiteer, he has to sell men on the idea that they need to improve themselves to get into a relationship with a woman, that they're not just fine how they are and lovable in and of themselves. This is not being honest with what is really going on out there. What's really going on is women are leeching off of men, using men for the lifestyle that men provide, using men's value like a damn leech. Really, there's no other way to put it. If you don't have value and you don't improve her lifestyle, she's probably not going to get with you. And yeah, you can play mind games and play frame control games, to subconsciously, psychologically make her feel like you're higher than her and you're superior and she's chasing you. And yeah, you've got other options and all this blah, 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 bliggity. But at the end of the day, she loves you conditionally. You love her unconditionally. You love her altruistically. You love her egalitarian in an egalitarian way. Egalitarianistically. I don't know if that's a fucking word, but anyway. And she loves you conditionally. She loves you as a utility. She loves you as a resource hub. She loves you for the lifestyle that you can provide for her. She loves you for what you do for her, not for who you really are. And who you really are as a man in society, in the fucking matrix that we live in, is attached to what we do and how much money we make. And that needs to change, and that's sad. And that's what I started this channel for. That's why I started talking all this shit, is because men are marginalized as human beings, as entities with feelings and a heart and quality emotions. None of that matters because we're supposed to be stoic alphas who are being the best in the room, right, Rich Cooper? Don't hang out with people who are lower tier than you. So you're encouraging guys to throw their real friends under the bus. You're encouraging guys to fucking ditch their friends because their friends aren't millionaires, because their friends aren't a step above you. And this has happened to me before. I've had guys who, because I wasn't good enough for them, improving enough in my finances or my clothes or whatever the fuck, they didn't want to be friends with me because it was all about the outward bullshit to them, because they keep hearing this kind of shit from the fucking manosphere, the motivation bullshit manosphere, when all it really is a fucking profiteer game. I don't get any money from my channel. None of my channels are monetized. I don't get shit for this. Why? Because I care about the truth. I don't care about selling, low self-esteem men some improvement pills, right? Some fucking snake oil water about, you need to improve yourself. Like, no shit. Every man out there knows he wants to improve himself, and you act like you fucking care, Richard Cooper, when in reality, you're just part of the problem. You're fucking part of the problem. Anyway, that's all I got to say for today. It's been Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.